the images, special effects, things like that. Let me just say one thing up front. Special effects are there for a reason. They're there to enhance the image to the point where people will look at it. But if the effect is so amazing that people are not looking at your image and reading the message you're trying to give them, they're looking at the special effect and they're asking, how do you do that? Well, then you're using too much special effects. But with that said, let's have some fun. Go into previous chapter 7. Now remember, if you don't have them over here, you go up to the word import and you go into files and folders and find them. Go into chapter 7 and open up James Bond Island right there. Okay, there we go. The Man with the Golden Gun with Sir Roger Moore. Let's do something to this image. Let's put an effect on this image that will highlight something about it. The sky, the water, the island, whatever. And we're going to do that first with something called a smart brush. It's right over here. I already have it selected. A smart brush. Now, if we come down here and open up our options, we have a lot of different options. Number one, if we come over here, we have options for like blue sky, if you will. Over here, you have either the Smart Brush tool or you have the Detail Smart Brush tool. It does finer detail for you. How does the tool work? Go back to the chapter on selection. Remember the quick selection tool where you dragged in and selected things? That's basically how this tool is going to perform its selection to get the area that we want. Now we have one background over here with James Bond Island in it. That's going to change as soon as we start selecting. Now we can change to a different brush. Click here if you want to change things like the hardness, spacing, or roundness. We use just a typical brush, and I'll use my left and right bracket keys if I want to make it larger or smaller. Now all I have to do with quick selection is come over here and begin selecting. I just love how that tool works. And I can come over here and get this other area. Now, I got too much. So we've got a little space down there where the mountain range is. So I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller with the left bracket. I'm going to hold the Alt key down, or click here if you want to. I'm going to hold the Alt key down and just very gingerly see if I can get that stuff back. It looks like I did. Okay, so we have a selection. Did you notice it did change somewhat? If I turn it off over here, you can see it did something to the area of the selection. Now we also have, and I love this, the ability to refine the edge to get it just that much more perfect. And if we come in here, you can see that looks pretty good. We even got those little bushes coming off the sides right here. But it could probably stand maybe just a little bit on the radius and maybe a little bit of smoothing, but not a lot. That actually looks pretty good. And I am looking at it with this option right here on black. I like that one because it can really show you what you've got or what you don't have. Click OK again down here. What else can we do here? Well, if we come over here and click right there, we can change what it's doing based on the adjustment over here. I mean, some of the ones we can see, there's clouds. That doesn't look that bad. We've got create a sunset. Interesting. If we come over here and click, you've got all kinds of things that you can try out. You go artistic on me. I don't know how that one's going to work, but let's see. Doesn't work at all. Come over here maybe to this one. Interesting what we can do. We are not really locked in just to what you see here. I mean, we can use these, but we are bound by the selection, aren't we? Well, remember one thing. We are working, number one, on this one up here. Okay, the mask is controlling what's going on over here, and we've worked on masks before, haven't we? For example, if I come over here and pick up my paintbrush tool, assuming I even want to do this, I come over here and I select the mask. I come over here and click white, a little bent arrow right there, or press the letter X on your keyboard, that's easier. If I paint in this area, well, what's happening is it's now getting what's happening up here. If I press X again and close that back off, and you might say, wow, that's a neat brush, Andy. Let's talk about brushes here. If you click here for brushes, and we've used brushes before, but we've been using the default brushes, which are round, soft edges, etc. If you want a different type of brush to paint with, you have all kinds of brushes in here. All kinds of different ways that you can express yourself by using different types of brushes. But through these lessons, for the most part, we've been using the default brushes. But yeah, you still have total control over this thing because you've got a mask and the image is being adjusted, if you will, by the mask. The Smart Brush, new feature, is basically quick selection that allows you to select an area and then change the area that's selected, and then you can further control it over here. And if you don't like it, throw this away. It's as easy as that. Let's go ahead and close and don't save. And here we go, back in the organizer.